So today we continue with our Friday afternoon Halachos of Brochos class. Today is class number 4. Okay, and it's so we start with Sefer Halachos Chaim, and the big topic is the same. Torah is for the subject benefit, and today's topic Lashon Hara and the non-observant. Okay, so let's see what are the parameters. Okay, based on the rules that we just studied, the rules of Lashon Hara vis-a-vis that totally non-observant Jew becomes clear. Okay, so what does it mean? Number one, the average non-observant Jew today has deprived of meaningful Jewish education. So here we go, the propaganda. Whether or not he has been exposed to Jewish Orthodox life, society has prevented him from taking Torah seriously. Okay, so maybe, okay, so, okay, I don't think it's Rambam's words. Rambam compares such a person to Tinak Hanishbo. Okay, should I, okay. Okay, so let's read and then explain how it is. Okay, a kidnapped Jewish child whose kidnappers reared him with non-Torah ideals, and whose transgressions are committed out of ignorance. Such a person may be in a category of your people, Amecha, and your fellow. Okay. It is our obligation to educate him with love, care, and sensitivity, and strictly forbidden to speak Lashon Hara against him. So, okay, so basically, if somebody does not know better, so what is your Lashon Hara, like negative speech is going to help him? So everything we do, trying to do for constructive purpose. If whatever you say can bring person close or help him, so that's what you should do. But if just speak bad about him, it's not for constructive purpose, basically. Okay. So number 2, a non-observant Jew who did receive a meaningful Jewish education, has been taught Torah values, and knows that what he is doing is wrong, but claim the observance is too difficult, is a rebel to the temptation. So the second category. He is considered part of Amecha, your people, which means that Lashon Hara may be spoken of him only if for a constructive purpose. So now he went to yeshiva, he knows Shabbos and stuff like that, but he decided not to keep kosher, not to observe Shabbos. I mean, if he does not observe Shabbos, so he's a goy 100%. Again, so if it's for constructive purpose, so you try to give somebody an example, so you can. There is no problem. But just start speaking about him instead of learning Torah. So what is the point? So continuation. However, he is not considered your fellow. So basically, if whatever he does, you can lend him with interest. You're not obligated to return the lost object to him and other things, right? And consequently, the prohibition of nasdvarim, so meaning causing hurt through the spoken words, will not apply in his case. Maybe like you can offend him, but again, what is the point? The bottom line, what is the point? Social pressure may be used to encourage the observance, even if he will suffer embarrassment in the process, provided that all the conditions of the constructive speech are met. Non-constructive speech that is either derogatory or harmful would constitute Lashon Hara. Okay. So in number 3, a classic apicorus, heretic, who is knowledgeable but rebels, is considered neither your brother nor part of your people. If there exists such a person today, one may speak about him without any precautions. I'm sure why they say this Menis Friedman is one of the many. I don't know why. Okay, it's first time when we disagree with the book, but it's not Chofetz Chaim, Baruch Hashem. It's translated. Okay, so continue with Halachos of Brochos. So we are starting on page 18. So So we're on chapter 1. So and we continue with prerequisites. Okay, so last time we say if somebody is not properly dressed, or somebody in front of him not properly dressed, it's a man and woman or a child, and we said the last thing that we discussed, does he need a head covering, stuff like that. Okay, so next one, D, not in the presence of a diaper or fall material. Number 1, diapers, odors, etc. Free or waste substance. A, free or the place where the bracha is being made just must be free of waste substance, dirty diapers and the like, even if there is no odor emanated from them. So meaning that it should not be like in front of you. J. Okay, so let's see, there is a commentary. So first of all, so one more time, if it does not smell good, not good. So you cannot make bracha. Okay, or even if it's like something dirty, it's like in front of you, you feel disgusted, cannot do that. Okay, commentary. If the waste product is in the back of him or to his side and is not emanated in odor, a bracha may be made provided that he is at least 7 feet away from the substance. So if a garbage, whatever, these diapers, whatever, is 7 feet away, so 7 feet, we say 4 amos. It's around 2 meters, plus minus. Okay, so if it's to the sides or to the back, there is no problem, or it's covered, okay, no problem. However, bracha may not be made while facing waste substance, even if there is no odor. So you see this thing in front of you, no, that's a big problem. Even though it's old, it does not smell. Unless they're beyond the range of vision. Or maybe it's another room, like in the front of him, but in another room. This prohibition applies even if it is dark and one's eyes is closed. So if he knows that this waste substance is in front of him, this closing of the eyes is not going to help him much. Even if the waste substance in another room, one may not make bracha while facing them through the open window or door. So let me read one more time, and we're going to explain, continue this commentaries. So it says, the place where bracha is being made must be free of waste substance, dirty diapers, and the like, even if there is no odor emanating from them. And the like commentary regarding which substances render the sight and feet for rendering bracha, see Shulchan Aruch Chaim 76 and 77. Regarding making bracha in presence of bedpans, see Shulchan Aruch 87. Other detail relevant to halacha may be found in. Okay, continue. Okay, so first of all, free of waste substance. Okay, okay. Next one, free of odors. The place where the bracha is made must be also free of odors from the waste substance. So maybe it's covered, but it's still, or they removed the source of smell, but there is still smell, so you cannot make bracha. And make bracha means you cannot pray either. Commentary. If odor is coming from the waste substance in a different room, according to some poskim, one may make bracha as long as he does not smell it. That is, he need not be 7 feet from the other ends. Okay, so here's the Torah's very important concept. So if something smells bad, let's say it's in your room, let's say it's on the back, on the side, so you have to distance 4 amos from the place where the smell stops. So when you don't smell it any longer, from that you have to go 4 amos, which is 7 to 8 feet and around 2 meters. Okay. So, but some say if it's in a different room, there is opinion if it's in different room and does not smell, meaning so the issue is even if it's less than this 4 amos, so they say some poskim say there is no problem. He could say blessing. Similarly, if waste substance is covered and there is no odor coming through covering, one may make bracha as long as it does not smell the odor. So now he does not have to distance himself. So he has like garbage pail and it's closed and no problem, or garbage bag he's supposed to throw out and still in the kitchen. So I mean he tied it. There is no smell, no problem. According to most poskim, even in these cases, one may not make bracha unless he is at least 7 feet from the other ends. So basically, one more time. So if it smells, even if it's covered, so if there is no smell, so according to some, you can say bracha. According to others, you still have to like separate yourself from that. Okay, and this stringent opinion, I think it applies only to the waste being in another room. So still, you have to find the place where the order stops, and from there you calculate this 4 ounces. Okay. So one more time, the whole sentence. That the place where the bracha is being made must also be free of odors from waste substance, garbage, and any rotten substance. So, right, or any rubbish. So it does not have to be like garbage. Right? In places where the odor is present, it is not sufficient to be out of range of the odor. One must be at least 7 feet away from the point where the odor ends. I mean, okay, so we already said it, but one more time, when there is an odor, when it stops, you count this 7 feet. Continue. If the waste substance enclosed in a plastic bag, through which the odor do not emanate, the bracha may be made even if one is standing right next to the bag. So if you get a garbage bag and it's closed, no smell, there is no problem. Even if the bag is transparent and the waste substance is visible, nevertheless, since they are covered by the plastic bag, the bracha may be made. So I mean, if the rule of thumb is like if he still feels disgusted from what he sees in the garbage, so it's proper to turn away. But basically, he does not have to distance. That's the thing. Okay. So if it's completely covered. Continue. In the presence of a child wearing diaper. Similarly, one may make a bracha in the presence of a child wearing diapers, provided that there is no body waste exposed nor any odor. So if he's not sure, right, and there is no odor and nothing is visible, so he can make bracha, no problem. A person wishing to make bracha in the presence of a child wearing diaper is not required to check the diaper prior to making bracha. So making, if it does not smell, it does not look like it, so we can say that we can assume that it's clean, more or less. Needless to say, if he perceives an odor, he may not make bracha. So if he feels something is there, so he cannot. Just distance yourself from child, and then you can make bracha. Okay. Next one, D, other odors. In case where there is a fault odors as a result of gas which was passed, one should wait until odor dissipates, or he should move out of the range of the odor before making bracha. So basically, it's as we said before, this same actually applies to all of the prayers and everything. So if he passed gas, so he has to wait until there is no more smell. Okay. Next one, number 2, open bathroom door. If the door of the bathroom adjacent to the person making bracha is open, but there is no odor, bracha may be made. So our bathrooms are clean, there is no problem. So there is no waste, basically. Okay, so if the door is open, we can make bracha. Number 3, personal hygiene. If the level of one's personal hygiene is not up to the halachic standards, he may not recite bracha. These halachic requirements are discussed in Hebrew note below 25. So there is with regard to the cleansing oneself from waste matter. So basically, If he has this waste matter, if he did not wipe himself properly, he went to number 2, did not wipe himself properly, and there's waste on his body, so he's not allowed to say blessing. That's the bottom line, what it said there. I mean, okay. So next one, E, section E. Other prerequisites. No food in mouth. So, okay. When making bracha, one's mouth should be entirely free of food. Be'Ezrat, so after the fact. If one moves the food to one side of the mouth, and make the bracha, it is valid. So also chapter 15, section C1. Okay, so what does it mean? So for example, he wanted to eat banana, and he took a bite, and then he realized that he did not say bracha. So basically, the proper way, if it's possible, it's just if he just beat it, he did not start chewing, just spit out the banana into your hand, say bracha, and then start eating the banana. If he already started chewing and the spitting is not an option now, so he should swallow completely. So his mouth is empty, and then say bracha, and then he can eat. Right? But they say Be'Ezrat after the fact. So it's not proper, but after the fact. If you put this banana on one side behind the cheek, so they say after the fact, and if he said bracha like this, he does not have to repeat the bracha. Go ahead.
I have a question. If you are eating some piece of food, are you allowed to enter the bathroom?
Chewing the food? The food
yes, for example, I want to wash my hands for any reason. I must finish the eating the piece of food and then enter, or I can enter anyway to the bathroom.
Exactly. So it says proper not to eat in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's maybe a mistake. I don't think it's strictly forbidden, but it's not proper to eat in the bathroom. That's for sure. Okay. So we said that no food in the mouth. Okay, number 2, clean hands. One should not make bracha if his hands are dirty. Similarly, one should not make bracha if he touches parts of the body which are usually covered, or if he scratched his head and had not yet cleansed his hands. Okay, we're going to read the notes now. Okay, so let's try to understand. So first of all, if his hands are dirty, he should not make a bracha. And if he's not sure that his hands are clean, basically, maybe they touch the covered part of the body, maybe, right? So scratch his head, so which happens to the best of us. So he has to wash his hands, basically. Commentary. There are 2 types of cases where the hands must be cleansed. A, one touches the substance associated with ruach ra, spiritual contamination. For example, waste substance. Right? B, one's hands were soiled from non-ruach ra, contaminated, like mud. Okay, so basically the hands should be clean. Okay, hands which touch substance associated with ruach ra should preferably be washed with water. Furthermore, the entire hand up to the wrist should be washed. So I mean, completely, right? Hands which become soiled from the substance not associated with ruach ra need not be washed with water, and only the area which becomes soiled must be cleansed. So maybe he did whatever he did, and his hands just physically dirty, not spiritually dirty, but not spiritually impure, but physically dirty. So just wash your hands. Okay. So continue. Preferably, one should wash his hands Okay, let me read from the beginning, and we can continuation. One should not make bracha if his hands are dirty. Similarly, one should not make bracha if he touch parts of his body which are usually covered. Okay. If he scratched his head and had not yet cleansed his hands. Okay, let me close the window. So continue. Preferably, one should wash his hands. Should washing them is difficult? Should washing them be difficult? Meaning if they he should wipe them on anything which cleanse them. So if you have a paper towel, or a napkin, or piece of cloth, towel, so you can basically wipe your hands, because as we said before, it's spiritual cleanliness. If he does not know whether or not he touched the body or scratched his head, etc., he is not required to cleanse his hands prior to making bracha. Okay, so let's read commentary and we explain. According to some poskim, if one touched dirt from his nose or ears, he should cleanse his hands prior to making bracha. So, I mean, but if you clean your nose with a facial tissue, there is no problem, because you never touch the substance itself. Okay. Okay, continue. Not while, so the next one, number 3, not while intoxicated. So first of all, before we said clean hands, now he cannot be drunk. When drinking of an alcoholic beverage, one should try to recite all of the brachas, which might subsequently be needed for it in a session before he becomes intoxicated. So it's very good sound advice, I think. Right, so before drink, I don't know why. Like, looks like the way I see it, the person is like he has a goal to get drunk. So if you just drink the wine from kiddush a little, fine, nothing is going to happen to you. I mean, to most of the people, right? So basically they say don't drink a lot. So say all of the blessings, whatever you need to say, and then you can get little more drunk. According to some poskim, if he is intoxicated to the extent that he is unable to speak properly before the king, he should not make a bracha. Right? So I mean, this is some poskim. Okay, meaning that that he is drunk but he's still hungry, so he should not make bracha. However, b'diavad, if he made bracha, it is valid. Okay, so let's see. There are 2 commentaries. Should not make bracha commentary. Unlike Shema and Shmona Esra, which may not be recited when he is drunk when he drank only 1 revi'is of wine and is able to speak properly before the king. So what it says here, Shema and Shmona Esra, much stricter rules apply. So if he drank a revi'i, well, I think we will learn it in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, right? So revi'i is approximately different opinions from 3.2 to 5.1 ounces or 5.2 ounces. So it's approximately, what is it, from 90 to approximately 150 grams. So it's not a lot if you're talking wine, but if he drank that much wine, even like according to Molina opinion, let's say 3 ounces, which is not a lot. But halacha is he should not pray Shmona Esra or Shema. But here we say so he still can make blessing on the food until what? Until he cannot stand before the king, basically. However, b'diavad, if he made bracha, it is valid. Commentary: if one is intoxicated to the extent that he does not know what he is doing, the bracha is invalid even b'diavad. So, I mean, chas v'sholom, so we'll be in this situation. So you should not drink that much, that's for sure. We will learn it in Rambam. Okay. So continue. Number 4, others restrictions. when one may not make a bracha if he has need to go to the bathroom. B'diavad the bracha was made as valid. So commentaries for some details, see Shulchan Aruch or Chaim 92.1. So basically there it says if he wants to go to the bathroom, so his pronouncement of name of Hashem is abomination. Basically, don't do it. Continue. Section F, applications. Okay, so practical applications. Number one, making bracha in bed. When making bracha while sitting in bed, it is preferable that one be fully clad in pajamas or robe or fully covered. Okay, so with bed sheets, let's say, right? So one more time, when he is when making bracha while sitting in the bed, so maybe he's about to go to bed and he wants to drink some water, right? It is preferable that he's fully clad in pajamas or robe or fully covered. A, if one wearing only robe without pajamas, he should make sure to tie it is tight, or he should press material firmly against his chest to create separation between this heart and lower part. So we spoke about this before. If he has belt, he has to tie the belt or hold like just like this, right? To tie the belt to his chest. But we said if he has underpants, it should be no problem. Okay, so here he just wearing robe without underpants. B, if he is clad only with pajamas, buttons, trousers or shorts, it is preferable that he cover the rest of the body with a sheet or a blanket before making bracha. So it's, as I said, it's preferable. It's not necessary, but it's very respectful and proper to cover. Just because his lower bottom is covered doesn't mean that top should be uncovered. C, if he is entirely unclad, completely naked, he should cover himself with a blanket and press the blankets against the chest. So a different situation. So once again, the same goal. So his top would not see his heart would not see his bottom. D. Alternatively, for example, he is too cold to remove his hands from under the cover. He may wrap his arms around himself between the chest and lower part. Okay, so let's see commentary, and we're going to explain. One should take care not to touch the body with his hands. So basically, he's under the blanket, and it is too cold, and he does not want to take his hands from under the blanket. I'm not sure that he needs to eat. Maybe the food under the blanket also. That's my guess. So they say just wrap your hands as it is, without touching your body, because we said it would be improper. He would be required to wash his hands, and then he can say the blessing. Meaning the separation, but before that we said separation with a cloth, right? Or with something with a bed sheet or with rope, stuff like that. But here, even without anything. Okay, so of course it's in a case of extreme necessity. Number two, making bracha in a swimming pool. Technically, one may make bracha while wearing the bathing suit, commentary, provided that his head is covered and there are no undressed men or even partially undressed women within the site, as explained above. Okay, so he's in a swimming pool. Let's say everybody is dressed. I mean, in a bathing suit at least, right? However, technically he can do the bracha. However, it is preferable to make bracha while fully clothed. So basically, to get out of the pool and dress completely and then make bracha. Okay, that's preferable. course, most people would not do it. If possible, one should don a bathrobe or a shirt or drape towel around himself before making the bracha. So meaning do as much as you can. This getting out of the pool, put a towel around, so it sounds like more reasonable. If this is difficult, he's permitted to make bracha in his bathing suit, since the bathing suit serves as a separation between his heart and lower parts. So the bottom line, it is allowed, preferably not to do it, but it is allowed nonetheless. Continue. Number 3, dinner guest who is not adequately clad. So okay, that's a thing that we discussed before, but let's see what author is about to say. When one finds himself in a situation when it's an improperly clad woman are seated at his table, and they may feel hurt or embarrassed, should he turn away from them in order to make bracha, he should inconspicuously close his eye and look down to make a bracha. So, and same advice, it's actually, if you're in a meeting with non-Jews, like you all sit around the table and you need bracha, they make bracha, that's what you do. I mean, they're in the middle of conversation. Poor you, I'm not sure why you're there to begin with, but okay. So prefer not to eat, or do blessing, come with your own cup of water, right? And do blessing before you come into the room, and there's no problem. But if you have no choice, so basically pretend that you're looking. No, not pretend. Close your eyes. Make sure you're not looking. So look down, and you can say bracha. Continue. Number 4, making a bracha in office, store, public place. Okay. When making a bracha in one's office or place of business, care must be taken not to make bracha while facing Jewish or non-Jewish employees, clients, or co-worker or customers who are not adequately clad. So that's a big challenge. I mean, if you sitting in an open area, but usually, I mean, if you're somewhere in an office, you can always turn away, facing your computers. So I mean that's the best way. If you work in an office job, so you're facing computers, so it's like you pretend you're reading some emails, whatever you do. So that's good. But if he's like in a different, like in a store maybe, and he wants to eat, so first of all, we said it's not proper to eat in public. But if there is the only place where he can eat, so basically he's the only like salesperson there, so he can eat, of course, but should not face all of his clients, let's say. Continue. One is permitted, however, to make bracha while facing non-Jewish male whose hair is uncovered. So non-Jews are not obligated to cover their hair. For example, if one's desk is situated so that he sits facing non-Jewish female secretary, receptionist, or co-worker, and likelihood is that she does not always dress in accordance to Orthodox Jewish tradition, right? So I mean, okay. Thus, if her sleeve does not cover her elbows, or the neckline or her hemline are not within the halachic parameters, one must turn so not to face her when making bracha. So basically, today, it's a big blessing that we have these office chairs that you can swing yourself any way you want. Like in olden days, when you have like stationary chair, so you would have to like move. It was like look stupid when the chair faces this way and you sit it sideways, right? But with these computer chairs, it's a big blessing, I think. Continue. If one is served coffee while attending a meeting with non-Jewish female clients, and feels that he cannot turn away from them without embarrassing them, he should inconspicuously look away. For example, pretend to look through the papers or check documents in a briefcase and make a bracha. So there is as authors said already many times, there is always solution not to face them and still say bracha. Number 5, women singing. One may not make bracha while hearing the voice of the woman singing. This applies to Jewish and non-Jewish women. So as we said before, Jewish women singing is like a nakedness. Same thing. This applies. This also applies to one's wife. Doesn't matter. Daughters over 11 years old, sisters, or other family members. For example, one should not make bracha while wife or daughter are singing zmiros. So I mean, they're allowed to sing in front of you, for example. Are they allowed to sing in front of you? That's a good question. At least not while you're making bracha. Regarding making a bracha while listening to the recorded voice of female singer, a competent halachic authority should be consulted. So let's see commentary and we're going to explain. Regarding listening to the recording of a woman singing, even when one is not making bracha or accepting employment in a place where one cannot avoid hearing the voice of the woman singing, a competent halachic authority should be consulted. So let's try to understand what it says here. As we said before, if she sings live, this woman, and she's you can hear her, it's forbidden according to all authorities. If she is recorded and you know how she looks like, so it's forbidden according to most authorities. But some authorities say if it's only recorded and you don't know how she looks like, so you cannot put the face to the voice, right? So some authorities, they say it is allowed. Probably more than Orthodox. So Orthodox people don't listen, period. Okay, so here in a note we said that so the person should be smart. So if he knows that he's going to the place, right? When they're going to be like women singing, he would be exposed to it. He has to ask halachic authorities. So my example would be, I don't know, maybe work in some hotel as a hotel manager. Let's say they promise him that he's not going to get like Shabbat shifts. No problem. It's good, but if it's always like music in a lobby or wherever he is, so that's the issue. That's a big issue. Okay, continue. If one must be in place where he cannot avoid hearing the voice of a woman singing, for example, he's employee in a restaurant which has a female vocalist. Ooh, it's life. He is not required to refrain from making bracha. So I mean, so according to this opinion, I mean that he has no choice and he does not want to be there and stuff like that, so he can make bracha, basically. That's what it says. Number 6, nursing an infant. One should not make bracha or speak divrei Torah while facing his wife if she nurses an infant, unless she covers herself. Okay, or if she covers herself, no problem, or he turns away basically completely. Next one, 7, also a huge problem. Sheer clothing. Sheer meaning that see-through clothing. Sheer clothing is not considered adequate covering. It's like it's not covered. Right? For example, even if a woman's sleeves extend to the wrist, but are nevertheless sheer, since the areas from the elbow and above can be seen through the material, a bracha may not be made while facing her. So if it's see-through, like I don't know, a net, there's some sheer, basically sheer material, so you're not allowed to say blessing. Of course, if if this material, like let's say above the elbow, right? Similarly, sheer stockings are not adequate covering for those areas of the leg which must be covered while making bracha. So basically, let's say she has actually, I'm not sure what he's talking about. So the Orthodox opinion that her legs also should be covered. So even if they're below the, like, whatever is not covered, let's say put it this, whatever is not covered by the skirt should cover with the stockings, basically. So according to this, similar sheer stockings are not adequate covering for those areas of the leg that must be covered. So, okay. Must be covered while making bracha. So basically, you have to turn away, so it's still a nakedness. One may, however, close his eyes and making bracha while facing a woman who is wearing sheer clothing. Okay, so there is opinion, Baruch Hashem. So if you have no choice, so in this case, just close your eyes. So she's dressed, but not properly. Okay. Continue. Number 8, window. If once a window faces a street from which inadvertently clad women are apt to be seen, he should be careful not to make bracha while facing that window. If the window is shut, there is the improperly clad woman can be seen through the glass. One may close his eyes and make bracha. So okay, so let's understand this about the window. Let's read one more time and explain. If one's windows faces the street, meaning that and he's on a floor where he can see what's going on down there, right, basically, or out there, street from which inadvertently clad women are up to be seen. So I mean, if it's only delivery entrance when the trucks are coming, delivery people are coming, so there is no problem. But he's facing somewhere where women can be seen, not properly dressed. He should be careful not to make bracha while facing the window. Okay, so don't face the window. Right? In these cases, if the window is shut, there is the improperly clad woman can be seen through the glass. So the glass, of course, it's a separation. Of course, I mean, if it's close, it's not a big separation. If it's if she's close, it's not a big separation. One may close his eyes and make the bracha. So it's a lenient opinion, but we can always rely on it. But proper way not to face the window. Why you put yourself in that situation, basically?
I have a question.
Please, yes.
To make it more clear, are you allowed to go and eat in a friend's house?
In a friend's house, are you allowed to go in? Why not? Why would he say? What was?
Of course, no meat involved. I mean, my friends, for example, they already know that I don't eat meat, so they make vegetables food. I am allowed to go there.
Okay, you're allowed to go, but in this situation, basically, there's a big problem with vegetables, and that's what I spent today. I don't know, 30 minutes of my time. I was listening to Shiur, so I was checking the vegetables. So the big problem with vegetables, even everything, as we said before, that growing from the ground is kosher, but there is a big problem with vegetable bugs. And it's not so simple, so you have to wash it very thoroughly, dry it, and then check for bugs. That's what my wife washed it, and I was checking for the whole dinner for bugs. It took me some time. As I say, maybe half an hour. Some people just check this and that, but we're trying to go stricter. I mean, it's not like we have restaurant or whatever, right? It's so I check every piece of vegetable. Then I take it back. For example, we eat broccoli, so I would take every broccoli. It's okay. So take every piece of broccoli and check it. And we have no problem. And or we have salad, right? We have salad like lettuce, pieces of salad. So you have to check each piece separately.
Also, I remember now about broccoli. That vegetable is very difficult to check for bugs. Is kosher or not?
Yeah, no, if you're not going to check, it's not kosher. But if you're going to check properly, it is kosher. So basically, I tell you what, I never ever found any bugs in broccoli. It's so clean. I mean, that they spray all of these vegetables. Why is this so perfect? They spray with all of these pesticides, right, to kill all the bugs around. So it's clean. I mean, with the other salads, I did found vegetables, and not vegetables. I did found bugs, but it's one or two. Like I don't know, maybe once a month. Once in 2 months I will find one dead bug. That's it. But no, but still, our obligation to check because it's a biblical prohibition from eating bugs. So many people, since they don't want to bother, they don't eat broccoli at all, or they do not eat cauliflower at all because it's harder to check. Understand?
I asked
basically, if it was not properly checked, you're not allowed to eat just because it's vegetables. You're not allowed to eat. You understand? Unless there are vegetables that don't have bugs. To give you an example, potatoes don't have bugs. Tomatoes, cucumbers don't have bugs. But all of the salads, for sure, possible. I don't say they do have bugs. Very possible they might have some infestation.
Yes, they usually at least the last time they cook something, they were not vegetables that are hard to check for, or may at all they not have any bugs at all. For example, grains.
No. These bugs are tiny. They're small. You cannot see it. I mean, if you bring close to your eyes, so you can see it. So there are two ways to check for bugs. So one way you have a special lamp, ultraviolet lamp, right? So you can see, like, put against it. Some people, like in older days, without this lamp. So you put on a sunny day, on a bright day, you put next to the window, and then you see it, or you go outside and you check, like whatever you do. So I have this lamp, and I have a magnifying glass and light. So basically, I think it's 10 times magnified. So whatever is less than this, it's not halachically a bug, basically, if I don't see it. So it's you can see under this lamp very, very clear what's going on, 100%. So okay, so that's but there is a different problem. So I since you asked this question, so Jews are not supposed to eat in houses of not Jews. It's forbidden. It's forbidden to eat, not because food is not kosher. The food might be kosher, but we're not allowed to eat, basically. But if they cook the food, that's the issue. Because, for example, they cook for you potatoes, right? Potatoes, let's say kosher 100%. But before potatoes, they were cooking meat. They would cook in pig in the same pot.
Oh. And I ask this because people, the audience in the Stamp the Rabbi series of Rabbi, they usually ask what I am going to do when I finish the conversion, how I deal with my friends. Must I stop visiting my friends? What do I do? So that's the reason why I'm asking this.
That's a reasonable question, but okay, it's a reasonable question. So you have to explain your friends. So I cannot eat in your house, or I bring my food. So basically, yeah. So even if just because let's say they cook spaghetti for you, they took a kosher spaghetti from the box, put it in the hot water, right? They cook, they put some salt. I mean, it's ready. What's wrong with spaghetti? Everything wrong with spaghetti. First of all, as we said, the pot is wrong with spaghetti. first of all. And second thing is you are not allowed, a Jew is not allowed to eat something that it was cooked by a non-Jew. There is some respectable food. Respectable food, they say that that fit to be on the table of the king. Spaghetti is one example. Potatoes, no problem. Kings eat potatoes; they're very tasty. You understand? But if they cook something that you can eat raw, so there is no problem. So what is an example? They bake an apple for you, right? So if they bake an apple, let's say absolutely kosher stove, absolutely kosher like a container, and what they baked, everything was kosher, and it's only egg, and they cut it with a kosher knife. There is no problem. So since you can eat apple baked or raw, so there is no problem with cooking. They call it bishul vacuum, like cooking as non-Jew. So, but otherwise, it's forbidden.
So the last question.
It's a summary. Yeah.
Assuming that all the requirements are met in a friend's house, I am allowed to say a bracha in front of them.
Yeah. I mean, what we say, only if a woman is not dressed properly, you cannot. Say
I was about to ask that. But there is a woman there.
Exactly. So, but how do they have a kosher pot to cook these things? That's okay. So let's say I give you an example. So if they give you, I don't know, like tomatoes and cucumbers, and they make the salad with a plastic knife on a paper plate, so it would be allowed to eat. But once they start, just 1 second. So, but when they start using their knives, they cut pig 5 minutes ago with that knife. Okay, they don't serve you pig, but that's what they do. Guess what? This knife absorbed the pig, and now it's going to your kosher tomatoes. Or go ahead.
I have a question about how they spray the pesticides on the vegetables.
Yes.
Are there like the pesticides? Like, are they? Do we know if they're like kosher, like non-kosher?
No. That's a different issue. Exactly. So my friend, our friend, wrote another issue. So before, forget about checking, right? This is real problem. So that's why we have a special veggie wash. Veggie wash you buy in the store, kosher store, or online. If you need the link, I can send you whatever we say. So you spray, and then this is special veggie wash. And some vegetable we live in a soapy water. That's what we do. And so with the veggie wash, with a dishwasher soap, right? It's most of them are kosher, some of them are not. So you buy kosher. Whatever start with whatever it's called. So you have a so you soak it and you have to wash all these things. Absolutely, it's a requirement. Otherwise, you're at 100%. You have to eat this garbage, of course.
What is the veggie wash? Is it like just like salted water, or like?
I don't know ingredients. I don't want to say, but it's something that specifically. It's not only for Jews, for non-Jews. To dissolve this the gases. They put gases on top, right? They work with gases, and all of these things that they apply to fruits and vegetables to preserve them. You understand? These oranges, like they don't look just so perfect for a long time. You know, it's like if they just touch the orange without washing. I always wash, but if you just touch, you see that your hands are going to be white, right? White from they put all of this wax, wax. I hope it's only wax, but they put all the chemical. Of course, they're not sure. They're not kosher. 100%. That's an issue. So before forget about bugs. So before the bugs, something that is invisible. You understand? You're right. Yeah. Veggie wash. Yeah.
Wait, Rabbi, so you can't just like wash fruits and it's okay? You have to like, you
know. No. You have to do veggie wash, as I said. So if it's let's say, I apologize. Let's let's take it back. So if it is orange that you're going to peel and throw it out of the peel and eat something inside, there is no problem. But check on. I mean, don't spend a lot of time, but just for the sake of clear understanding, check on the internet. So about all of these gases that they use to preserve the vegetables and fruits. You know what I'm saying? Gases, all of this, many of the things, especially apples, especially fruits, they apply a lot of it. So, I mean, you can even feel it, of course. So spray, like wash it or wash it with regular soap, but try to like harder, like handle it. So you would wash it away. That's it. Any other question?
Another question about bugs. The bugs still they have tumor if they are dead, the bugs or the bacteria?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on the bug. It depends on the bug. So bug, it could be from one sin to 6 sins. I think to somehow I want to say up to 7. Maybe it's up to 7. I don't remember. It's in Rambam's forbidden foods law, right? So if it's only like crawling on the ground, it's one thing. If it's crawling and the flying, it's another thing. If it's multiplies in the water, it's different thing. So all of these things. So and one of them can have all 7 of them together, basically. So eating one small bug. So this salad is much worse than eating pig. So if you ate pig, let's say, Kazayith, so it's one violation. But if you ate this bug in your salad, like who thought about it, right? You're getting seven violations with each bug. But for non-Jews, there is no problem, right? So especially if it's dead bug, there is no problem. They can eat dead animals. There is no problem. You understand? So that's why some stupid people say, no, I'm going to go to restaurant and I'm going to order a salad. So this salad, it's not kosher restaurant. So these veggie places are not for Jews. For Indians, maybe yes, or some people who eat only veggie, no meat. But for Jews, it's not. It's forbidden, absolutely 100%.
And the size matters. The size of the bugs. I meaning if it is a microscopic bug, it is more sins, less sins.
Okay, so as you ask a good question. So basically, our sages draw the line. So what they say, if it's not you cannot see it with your naked eye, it's not halachically a bug. It's not a problem. On one hand, but today we know the infestation. We know that they're there. Understand? So you cannot just ignore. That's why they say, since we have all of the modern invention, we have this ultraviolet light. So you can put like in all of the Jewish stores they sell it, right? So that is like $50. I mean, it's not cheap. Or you have whatever I use. I have this magnifying glass. You understand? So since we know that it is a big possibility that these bugs are there, and then you have all the technology, there is no excuse for you not to use them. Understand? Okay, so continue. So we said about the window. Next one, chemical odor. We have seen that the bracha may not be made where the foul odor is present. This prohibition applies only to odor emanated from waste material and the like. If odor it does not apply to the odors emanated from chemical sources. Therefore, bracha may be made in place beset with the odor of tar, fresh pan, kerosene, and the like. So basically, I just want to explain what it says here. So it says here, so if it's not garbage, let's say, if it's some chemical like paint. So me personally, I like the smell of fresh paint, but other people, for them, it's disgusting. So if for them personally this is disgusting, they're not allowed to make blessing. right? But me, I mean, I like. It's not like I'm crazy, but it's not repulsive to me. This fresh paint smell, so I can make a blessing, and there is no problem whatsoever. Okay, so I think we can stop here. It's 5 p.m. So let me quickly read just a summary what we're going to study in the next chapter, and we start. So it says reciting the Brocha. In this chapter, we discuss many important halachas affecting the reciting Brocha. Section 8 deals with issue to be cognizant of when preparing to make bracha. For example, before a person begins to recite bracha, he must first determine the appropriate bracha for the item he planned to eat. Okay, so before saying, you have to know what to say, like in everywhere. Right? In section B, we discuss the requirements of grasping the item while making bracha. So it has to be in your hand. Right? For example, bracha is valid if it is recited on food that was in a refrigerator. So it's a question: is bracha valid if it was in the refrigerator or on the water in a water fountain? Right? And C, section C deals with halachas that govern the actual recital of the bracha. For example, if bracha is valid if one's formulated bracha in his mind without actually reciting the words. Okay. So we're going to see, and the last one, the one before last, section D, we discussed making bracha while being engaged in activity. For example, must a person who is learning or clearing off the table pause while reciting bracha. Okay, and section E, we discuss the requirement to eat from the food upon which bracha was made. For example, one makes bracha on an apple, and before eating from it, find another one which looks more appetizing. May he switch it from another apple or not. So that's Be'Ezrat Hashem. I'll plan to learn next Friday afternoon. Any questions on any topics? Go ahead.
Yes. So what do you do to accept Shabbos earlier? You just do Kiddush earlier and that's all?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So the earliest time that we can accept Shabbos, so I don't know, I don't want to switch from this view. It's after Plaga Mincha. Plaga Mincha is we said 1 hour and 15 minutes halachically before. I think right now, if you want, you can accept Shabbos. I think, but you have to double check. It's 5. Shabbos starts at 6:18 or I mean candlelight in 6 whatever. Like I think you have to check, but in a few minutes you can accept Shabbos. So, but before accepting Shabbos, make sure you pray Mincha first, because after that you will not be able to. You finish and you start. You pray Mariv, evening Mariv, but make sure that all of the milachas are done. All the lights are on, everything is ready, and you can accept Shabbos. Yes, 100%.
Question for Left Mishnah. You only need 4 challahs for the whole 3 sudas, really, right? If you only...
Yes.
Okay.
But as I said before, so Lechem Mishnah means 2 bread. But if you want to use for third meal, you can if you want to have what is it the matzah, whatever matzah that you're not planning to eat and challah, you can, but properly to have 4 challahs, because the 4th challah you're going to eat in Melava Malka. So that's the proper way to have 4 challahs for the whole Shabbat.
Are you allowed to, what's it called? Yes. So do you have to eat a Kazayith, let's say, because I make Shabbos, right? But let's say for you mamish don't want bread at all. To you, bread is like, I don't know. So do you have to have the Kazayith or no? It's proper to be considered a meal to eat Kazayith. So but if person is sick, he's weak, he's elderly, this and that. So if he cannot, so he can eat less. But this hamotzi, blessing on the hamotzi, does not cover the rest of the food. So basically, on a salad, on a fish, on this, on that, he has to make a separate blessing. So hamotzi only counts when you have more than a kazayis on all other foods.
Exactly. Plus all other foods, so everything is covered, as we said, except the dessert. And we're going to learn how this mizoinus is not included. by majority of the poskim, but some say it is included. We're going to speak about it.
Some people have this, I don't know, it's like pineapples and cherries in the middle of the Suda, and they don't make a brach on it at all, even if they would make
Exactly. So pineapple, it's in this book they're going to speak about it. I never saw in my life. I never for me it's like I don't know. So they have a fruit soup, some kind of fruit soup, and they eat it with a spoon, and it's sweet and this and that. I don't know why somebody would have a I don't know. Don't ask me, but basically, if it's one of the main dish of the Siyuda, of course it's included. Yeah. You understand? But if it's eaten as a dessert, like after you're full and you want just sweet stuff, you want fruits, something for this, you say 100%. You have to say separate blessing.
Why is pesticides not kosher? It's not a meat. It's not dairy. It's like I thought everything that's not
You
meat.
do not know from what is it involved. Maybe it's a meat, maybe it's a dairy, maybe it's a dead pig. Maybe it's from bones of the pig. I don't know. So from bones of the pig, it's the cheapest powder that you can make. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's from some sea creatures. I don't know.
Understand.
So basically, if it's it's written on OU. Once I saw article, I mean, it's like 100 pages. So I just stopped. I mean, they say it's not kosher. It's not kosher. I'm not questioning that. I'm not. Anyway, even if they give you material ingredients, it's A824 C. I mean, you can go figure out what is the A824 C and all of these long Latin names. I mean. Okay.
Am I allowed to keep a book? Let's say I was supposed to give a book back, but I didn't give the book back. Am I allowed to read from it or no?
Yes. And until you get back, yes.
Understand. Okay, sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
I heard and learned that you are not allowed to, for example, what a shiur when there is bad smell, shiur Torah.
Yes.
But you must stop immediately. But I don't understand if it is stop or pause and solve the issue about the bad smell and then resume.
Yes.
What must I do?
Yeah, exactly as you said. So that's exactly what we said about blessing. So all of these blessings on the food, whatever we learn, as we said before, it applies to everything, to your prayers, or to Shema, Shmones, or whatever, any prayers, and learning of the Torah. That's exactly the same requirements.
But for example, pausing means you pause at certain point and then resume. But the stop is that you close, exactly. For example, the book or turn off the TV. Exactly. What are allowed to do?
To close the book, and when this woman pass by, so you open the book and you continue. Yes, that's it. Okay. Anything else? Stop here. All right. So I wish everybody good Shabbos. And David, do you have something?
No.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. So let's stop here. Wish everybody good Shabbos. It's not too much time left. So we have to get ready. All right. Until Sunday, Beezrat Hashem, 9 p.m.
Thank you.
Good Shabbos.
Goodbye.
Bye.